Okay. The noisy lot in the corner. Under 16s, please. And what we've all been waiting for, coaches John McBarron, Gary Getton as team manager, and the man we've been trying to get onto the microphone for the last 15 years, Mr. Peter Woods.
Be on YouTube later, no sweat.
Put a line at the front, Brad.
YouTube only takes 20 minutes.
Go on, lads, get in 4 rows of 4. Quickly, go on.
As usual, they listen to their coach.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen and players. We're the under-16s from Luton Rugby Club. Now, normally, from the season, I'd give you a game-on-game commentary of our progress up to Christmas. But as I recall, I don't think we won a game up till Christmas, so we're not going to do that. Now, there might have been a reason for that, and they've all been saying it, and I think it was at all. As Jerry and the under-15s have just said, they've started their fundraising, and I wish them well. We did ours, and we started off with very high expectations, and we also had a word with Keith, and he pointed us in the right direction, I think. And we started off and we downgraded a little bit to Barrett's. During our fundraising, we unfortunately lost our tour manager quite early on to another club. And Gary and Mandy stepped in, picked up the good work that Pete had done, and saw us through to the end, and we achieved our goal. And we went to Barrett's for a 10-day tour. Now, Barrett's, who's been to Barrett's? I hadn't, nobody had, we didn't know what to expect. What a wonderful surprise. Atlantic Sea crashing in the biggest waves you've ever seen in your life, one side, Pyrenees the other side. I can't actually do it justice as explain it, so if you want to just turn around and face it that way. We actually have a screen up there which will show you the whole 1,658 slides and 5 videos.
Did Keith lend it to you?
Only joking, there's only 3 videos. But no, the place itself was an unexpected delight. The rugby there was superb. You saw child, women, men, they either carried a surfboard or a rugby ball. It was pure rugby land, and it was a fantastic place. First game, we crossed the border over into Spain to Ordizia on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and probably experienced as a coach one of the finest rugby days of my life. Went over there, as I say, beautiful day, won the game 16-15, final kick of the game. Absolutely fantastic, wonderful hosts, very gracious in defeat, and mullered the boys in the photo afterwards with the bundle. But it was absolutely superb. Returned back to France, done a little bit of white water rafting, which was Paul thoroughly enjoyed. What's that puddle, Paul? And carried on the enjoyment of the tour. 2 games we had in France. We had one in Poole, which was Rugby de Lons. Beautiful stadium we went to, turned up, got introduced to the French under-national 18 coach. I said, does he normally come around these parts? No, he lives in Paris, Black said. what's he doing here then? He goes, oh, he's looking at the 8, the 6 and the 4. Oh, right, okay.
Not your 8, 6 and 4.
No, they didn't get in. Needless to say, they just run out winners 57-5. But they only outclassed us in execution of rugby. They didn't outmurder us, and we done all right on that night. And the very next day we had to play another game, unfortunately, which is tour rugby. Okay, which is tour rugby, and they picked their boots up, aching bodies, aching bones, sore heads, and we went out and played another game of rugby in Biarritz against, I can't remember the name of the team, but we played 4 quarters and we won 2 of them. They won the other 2 and won the eventual result, but for playing 2 games in one day against 2 very good sides, it was an absolute phenomenal effort from the boys, and thoroughly enjoyed the whole experience of playing in different regions and different types of rugby. Now, as we know, main rule of tour is what goes on tour stays on tour. What a load of old tosh. Any parents? But no, as an experienced tourer, that is the main rule. So the only advice I can give to anybody touring Biarritz, which I would thoroughly recommend because it's a fantastic place to go for a holiday or to actually go for your rugby, is that when you visit Ordizia in northern Spain or Biarritz in southwest France, you are not in northern Spain or southwest France, you are in Basque Land, as we got reminded everywhere we went. But wonderful hospitality from the people and thoroughly enjoyed the tour. Moving on from that tour, I'd just like to say a few thank yous to the club itself for, without the club we wouldn't have gone on tour, we wouldn't have been representing anybody. We went there proud to represent Luton, and I'm sure we did Luton proud. So I thank the club for that. I'd also like to thank Keith and the management committee for the support and advice they gave us, which was well used and well taken on board. After we come back from tour, we had a massive transformation of this squad and we started playing some rugby. So the ethos of tour does work. We bonded as a team. We went out, second part of the season, we won more than we lost, and we played some of the best rugby, I think, as a coach, I've seen this team play. And it was a credit to them that they bonded. And just one thing I'd say to you lads, it sounds, I mean, we are coming to the end of our youth rugby now, but what you achieved on the tour, what you got from the tour, you'll struggle to find that again in your future life, because you'll be mates forever from that tour. So keep that in your mind, yeah? Right, before I say my thank yous and that, I've got somebody who wants to say a few words, but before that I'd like to get 3 people up. So if I can have my mate Woodsy, my mate Cray, and if James comes down please, James Corrigan. Okay, I've coached this squad for 8 years, thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it, even though my facial expressions haven't always given that impression, but I have. But these 3 people in front of me, they've been part of it for 10 years. And I'm sure Woodsy would like to say a few words about that. So I'll hand over to my mate Woodsy.
Well, I did start coaching. It was Andy started me. My son came home and said to me, I've got this leaflet, can I play rugby? It was from Stockwood. I said, yes, you can play rugby, but you ain't going to